Hello students, welcome to this lecture on adjectives. This is Prashant Kumar, Assistant Professor of English at Government College for Women, Karnal, Haryana. This series of lectures has been prepared under the aegis of the Higher Education Department. I hope you will find this lecture useful. This lecture is meant for the undergraduate students of the universities of Haryana. Let us begin with the definition of adjectives. Basically, adjectives are modifying words. I mean, the words which qualify or modify the meaning of another word. And adjective here are associated with nouns. So, an adjective is a word which modifies the meaning of a noun. And what is a noun? Noun is the name of any person, thing, place, or an emotion. So, adjectives are words which indicate the quality of a noun, that is, the appearance, color, size, or nature of the thing, place, or person indicated in the noun. The thing that you must remember regarding adjectives is that an adjective must refer to a noun and nothing else. Let me repeat. Adjectives are associated with nouns. They are also called pre-modifiers because they generally occur before a noun and they modify the meaning of a noun. Let us look at a few sentences. She is beautiful. Now, here the word beautiful is referring to she and it is describing the appearance of the noun. In the second sentence, we saw a black horse. Now, black is modifying the meaning of horse. It is qualifying the meaning of horse. Horse is a noun. And what does black do? It tells us the color of the horse. In the third sentence, this room is large. Now, large is referring to the size of the room. Now, room is the noun and large is the adjective. In the fourth sentence, she seems honest. Honest refers to she. And what is the reference? It refers to her nature, that she is honest. So, you can see that adjectives are the words which qualify a noun in terms of appearance, color, size, or nature. Let us now categorize the adjectives in terms of their appearance in a sentence. The first category is predicative adjectives. Predicative means something that comes after. So, a predicative adjective occurs after a verb and refers back to the subject or the object. Here are a few examples. Deepika Padukone is tall. Now, the adjective tall is referring to Deepika Padukone, which is subject and a noun. She died young. Young is the adjective which refers to back to the subject, she. He became ill after eating the new sweet. Now, ill is the adjective referring to the subject. I found him happy. Here, happy is the adjective and it refers to him, which is the object. So, such adjectives we will call them predicative adjectives because they occur after a verb. The second category here is attributive adjectives. As the name itself suggests, these adjectives tell us about the attribute of a noun. An, an attributive adjective occurs before a noun and qualifies it or classifies it. Here are a few examples. A young man shouted at him. Now, man is the noun and young is the attributive adjective. Second sentence, dry cough has been his chronic problem. Now, dry refers to cough and chronic is the attribute of the problem. In the third sentence, this is a golden opportunity. Please don't miss it. Now, opportunity has been qualified with the attributive noun golden. Another category of adjectives is that of post determiners. Some adjectives occur after a determiner and before another adjective. Such adjectives are called post determiners. Now, all these three categories, that of attributive adjectives, predicative adjectives, and post determiners, these are according to the occurrence of an adjective in a sentence. They are not about the function of the adjective but about the occurrence. Predicative will occur after a verb, the attributive will occur before a noun, and a post determiner will occur after a determiner and before another adjective. So, this is how you will identify these adjectives. Let me give you a few examples of the post determiners. Look at sentence number 1. They wanted the government to immediately attend to the specific basic needs of the slum dwellers. Now, specific is the adjective, and where does it occur? After the and before basic. Basic is another adjective, so it occurs after a determiner, that is the, and before another adjective, that is basic. In the second sentence, he provided me the following brief description about the fake IPS officer who had cheated him. Here, adjective following, which is a post determiner, occurs after the and before brief. Brief is another adjective. In the third sentence, she gave me her usual cynical reply. Usual is the adjective which occurs after her and before another adjective, cynical. That is why it is a post determiner. In the fourth sentence, the remaining unsolved issues. Remaining occurs after the determiner the and before another adjective, unsolved. I hope now you will be able to understand the post determiners. Here is a list of adjectives used only attributively. Attributively means these adjectives are used before the nouns which they qualify. They cannot be used after the nouns. So these are some of those adjectives. For example, adoring, commanding, paltry. What you can do is you can try and make sentences with these adjectives so that you can understand their use. Now, this is the list of adjectives which are used only predicatively, that is, they are used after the words they qualify, not before them. And lastly, here is a list of adjectives which are used as post determiners. Before we proceed further, here is a review question. I am giving you a paragraph and you have to identify the structural type of the adjectives given in bold types in the passage. You have to tell whether it is predicative, attributive, or post determiner. Remember, the categories that I have given you are according to the structure of the adjective and its occurrence in a sentence. It is not about its function. We will study function after we have completed this. So you can try and attempt this review question. Now we will classify the adjectives in terms of their functions. One is qualitative adjectives. These are the adjectives which refer to the quality of a person, place, or thing. Such adjectives are gradable, whereas classifying adjectives are not. Gradable means we can have degrees of these adjectives. One is the positive degree, comparative degree, and then the superlative degree. For example, good, better, best. So qualitative adjectives are gradable. Classifying adjectives are the adjectives which identify the particular group or subgroup to which the referent of the noun belongs. Some adjectives can be used either way, either as a qualitative adjective or as a classifying adjective. Third is the color adjectives, which refer to the color of something. The adjectives that are used to show strong feelings are called emphasizing adjectives. So these are the classification, this is the classification of adjectives based on their functions. Let us now try to understand these categories of adjectives with the help of examples. Look at the following sentences. Number 1, he is minister in charge of higher education. Here, higher is a classifying adjective which classifies education into higher. The second sentence is political corruption is mainly responsible for the slow development of this country. Now, this is a qualitative adjective. What kind of development? Slow development. So, slow then can have degrees. Slow, slower, slowest. In the third sentence, he has very serious problems in the home front. Serious is a qualitative adjective because it shows us what kind of problems he has. In the fourth sentence, she is trying her best to help him in his financial problems. Now, this is again a classifying adjective because it classifies what kind of problems he is having. In the fifth sentence, he gets unduly emotional on trivial matters. This is a qualitative adjective. The sixth sentence, the emotional needs of the prisoners cannot be considered a legal issue. Now, emotional here is a classifying adjective. It classifies what kind of needs the prisoners have. In the next sentence, the weather here is dry. It shows the quality of the weather. That is why it is a qualitative adjective. And the eighth sentence, she has a dry cough. Again, it is a classifying adjective because it classifies the kind of cough she has. As I said, the same adjective can be used both as a qualitative adjective and as a classifying adjective. But whenever that adjective is used as a classifying adjective, you will not able you will not be able to use its comparative or superlative degree. So the classifying use, so when you use something as a classifying adjective, it doesn't allow you to use gradation, that is comparative or superlative degree. For example, look at these sentences. The weather here is drier than in Chandigarh. Now you are using the adjective dry, and this is a qualitative use here. It is being used as a qualitative adjective. So we are using the comparative degree drier. But the same adjective, when used as a classifying adjective, you won't be able to use the superlative or comparative degree. She is suffering from very dry cough. Now here you cannot say drier cough or driest cough. So this is what you need to understand, that whenever an adjective is being used as a classifying adjective, you won't be able to use gradation, that is the comparative or superlative degree. Now, color adjectives, they can be used as nouns too. As you know, following are the main color words in English: black, blue, brown, cream, green, grey, orange, pink, purple, red, etc. So, a color adjective can be further modified by words like light, pale, dark, deep, or bright. For example, she has light brown hair. So, the main adjective is brown, but you are further modifying it with the help of light. Why don't you put on your dark blue shirt? Now, dark blue, blue, and then further modified with the help of dark. This is pale green, not blue. Now, green is being further modified with the help of pale. So, color adjectives are quite easy to understand. And we can also modify color terms or color adjectives by using the ish suffix, is that is ish, or by combining colors. For example, blue green, greenish white, greeny yellow, yellowish green, etc. Whitish, white plus ish. And because of historical or cultural reasons, some color adjectives might become classifying rather than qualitative. For example, a green activist is not an activist who is green, but he is an activist in the movement for protecting the environment. Emphasizing adjectives are used to show strong feelings or attributes. Look at the following sentences. He always comes with absolute nonsense. Absolute is the emphasizing adjective. His philosophy ensures pure bliss. Pure is the emphasizing adjective. She made a complete fool of herself. So you want to emphasize fool by using the adjective complete. He returned it the very day he had borrowed it. So very is used to emphasize day. We can't suggest outright surrender to blackmail, can we? Now outright is being used to emphasize surrender. So these are called emphasizing adjectives. Now look carefully at the usage of very in the fourth sentence. As all of you know that very is an intensifier. But here in this sentence it is functioning as an emphasizing adjective. So it is very important to note that both emphasizing adjectives and intensifiers have many things in common. But if you look at it structurally, intensifiers modify adjectives and adverbs. For example, good is an adjective and you use very as an intensifier. Fast is an adverb, maybe an adverb, and you use very as an intensifier. Whereas emphasizing adjectives modify nouns, and it's very important that an adjective is always related to a noun, that is its structural form, that it will always relate to a noun. And if you understand this very basic concept, then you will not confuse adverb with adjective or adjective with an intensifier. So whenever you look at an adjective, try to look at the word it qualifies, and the word it qualifies must be a noun. Now that you have studied the various categories of adjectives in terms of its functions, I am giving you another review question. You have to identify the functional type of the adjectives in the following passage. I mean, you have to identify the adjective based on its function in the sentence, whether it is qualitative or it is classifying or it is color specifying or emphasizing. Please go through this small paragraph and try to identify the type of the adjectives given here. Now let us discuss the formal aspects of the adjectives. In terms of their structure, The adjectives can be of three types. One is basic, second is derived, and the third is compound. Basic adjectives are single root words. For example, old, young, fat, bad, ugly, etc. Derived adjectives are those which are derived from other words with the help of suffixes. For example, childish, useless, hourly, funny, etc. Apart from these, you must also remember that the present participles, that is the ing forms, and past participles, that is the en or ed forms of verbs, are also sometimes used as adjectives. For example, he gave her a convincing reply. Here, convincing, which is the present participle form, is being used as an adjective. And he is a thoroughly disappointed man. Here, disappointed, which is the past participle form of the verb, is being used as an adjective. So, these will also fall under the category of derived adjectives. Now, let us discuss the compound adjectives. Compound adjectives are words which are formed with a combination of two words or more than two words. For example, they want to have an air conditioned library. Here, air conditioned is a compound adjective. In the second sentence, good looking is a compound adjective. I have given a few more examples here. You can look at them. Now, let us come to the grading of adjectives or the degree of adjectives. As I already discussed, that the qualitative adjectives are gradable. Gradable means they can have degrees. There are three degrees, in fact: positive, comparative, and superlative. So, first of all, let us discuss the comparative grading or degree. We can say something has more of a quality than something else, then we will use the comparative degree or comparative grading. We form this degree by adding er to the adjective or placing more in front of the adjectives. Some adjectives have irregular comparative form which are given below. There can be many more. For comparative degree, there must be two elements which can be compared with each other. Without two elements, we cannot have the comparative degree. So you must keep this thing in mind. The uses of the comparative gradation or the comparative degree is very important to understand. The comparative is often used in an explicit manner by using than, than, in the sentence. You must have seen many instances of this, like the examples I have given. America is three times bigger than India. Her husband was younger than her. But it's not necessary that than has to be used in the comparative. We can use it without than also. See these examples. His speech became more aggressive. Here, than has not been used. Or in the second one, he was advised to be more polite. So these are the two kinds of usage of the comparative degree. In the same way, the superlative form is formed by adding est to the adjective or by placing most before the adjective. While using the superlative form, the definite article the always precedes the superlative adjective. That is, you must use the before the superlative adjective. The superlative degree is used to show that a given thing or person has more of a quality than anything else or anyone else. For example, she was the best dancer of the evening. And you can also look at the other examples that I have given. I'm not giving you a list of the comparative and superlative forms of adjectives because you can find them in any book of grammar. I will just close our discussion with a note on some special cases of adjectives. One is elder. Elder is an adjective which is never followed by than, although the structure of this adjective looks like a comparative adjective, but we never use than after it. For example, he is my elder brother, so than has not been used. But when we use old, then we have to use than. Old, older, oldest. So he is older than me. Similarly, less is used with singular and uncountable nouns, whereas fewer is used with plural nouns. More can be used with either of them, that is, the plural or singular nouns. Lesser is used to indicate that something is important or less important. You can look at the examples that I have given below. In the end, I am giving you another small review exercise. You have to categorize these adjectives that I have given as basic, derived, or compound. Here is a list of the sources that I have used and some suggested reading. You can refer to these books if you want to read about the subject a little further. I hope that you would have found this presentation useful. For your comments and suggestions, you can contact on the emails given below. Thank you.